Have you ever been fumbling with manual settings on your little action camera and completely missed that epic shot that you were trying to capture? Yeah, me too. So today we're diving into why going full manual on these things isn't always the way when split-second timing is on the line, and why setting the camera up in auto mode is the easiest and best simple way forwards. Alright, let's jump in. Now there are many videos out there at the moment promising the best settings for that cinematic look, or to be able to use the camera in whatever situation it is that we're trying to use it best for. And understanding how to use these settings at any given moment in time can be extremely confusing as well as frustrating if, like me, you simply just want to be able to press that go button and capture what's happening in front of you without having to worry about stopping or framing a shot or going in and changing this and changing that. Because if we do get bogged down in that kind of detail, potentially we're going to miss the one thing that's really important, and that is capturing those memories. And we don't want to be too busy fiddling around with settings for whatever it is we were wanting to capture has happened, and now I'm still trying to change this, and all of a sudden I'm ready to go. Okay, so how do we solve this problem then? Well, I am a big fan and supporter of letting the equipment, the tech, do most of the heavy lifting. Let this thing do the hard work for you. These little gizmos are extremely clever and they can adapt on the fly so that you don't need to worry about it. Straight out of the box, this camera, the DJI Action 5 Pro, is good to go. You don't need to do anything to it. You could literally take it out of the box, press that record button, and you're capturing things. And that's great. That is a real low barrier to entry. However, as I've discovered, there are a few simple settings that I would encourage you to change. But once you've changed them, you never have to worry about them again. Literal set and forget, done. And when you've done that, you're off and running. We can expand on that if we wish. Again, I'd probably encourage you, because this is what I've found for myself. We could create 1 or 2 presets based on what we think we might be filming or wanting to capture later on down the line. Let's just say you have one main preset that's your run and gun, you do everything, no need to worry about it. Perhaps there's a couple of occasions where you might think, actually, Tim, I want to capture some slow motion stuff. We can set that as a preset. Or perhaps you're going to be going off visiting the colonies and you want to capture some massive landscape panoramic time-lapse view of the wildebeest crossing the plains. Well, we can set a preset for that as well. So again, we're just removing those barriers and potential frustrations. But mostly, keep it simple. Let's set up one main preset that covers all eventualities so we know that we're not gonna miss the action. How do we do that? Well, let's take a look. Okay then, let's jump into setting up those initial settings. So the first thing we want to do once it's switched on, we're going to swipe up from the bottom, we're going to tap top left of the screen, make sure we're in video mode. When we've done that, we want to go top right of the screen and we want to choose our image stabilization. For me, for pretty much everything I do, even snowboarding and jet skiing, I just leave it on rock steady. That handles everything. And then the field of view, again, I leave it on standard because that's wide enough. As soon as we start to go wide or ultra wide, we get that fisheye effect, not something I'm looking for in my main preset. So that's all set. Okay, wait, hold up a second. I need to just jump in here because I'm watching this back ready for you and I've missed something really obvious and something that's quite important, and that is the resolution and frame rate. So 2 things you need to do here. Choose the highest resolution you can for your camera. Me, it's 4K, because why would you not do that? And then your frame rate, again, I choose 24 frames per second. It just seems to give me the look that I quite like the look of. And the only reason I'd increase that is if I knew I was going to be doing something where I wanted to slow it down. So I'd put the frame rate up to 60 or 100 or whatever it is so that I can slow that footage down. So 2 important things that I've missed out of this, but I'm adding them in now. Highest resolution you can, for me 4K. Select the frame rate that you think is best for what you're trying to do, and away we go. All right, that's me out and back into this. Now we're going to tap on the lines on the right hand side, and we want to make sure that we are in pro mode here. Top left, exposure. Click auto. Left hand side of your screen. Set your EV to minus, negative, 0.3. Personal preference here, you could go a little bit lower than this, but this thing seems to overexpose a touch. This just brings it down, makes it all a little bit better. Then the other side of the screen, you go to ISO and you set it to 100 to 1600. Again, don't need to worry about that ever again. All sorted. That seems to be the sweet spot. Click confirm. Next one over, white balance. Set this to auto. Don't worry about it. There is a trick you can use for manually doing it, but again, different video. We don't need to worry about that here. We want simple, easy to go run and gun stuff. Click confirm, we're done. Next up, we've got our color profile options. Me, I use it in D-Log M 10-bit because once I've imported the footage into my editing software, I use DaVinci Resolve, I can then apply a LUT to it. I'm going to come on to that a little bit later on. However, you can completely remove that step and just select normal if you wish. Honestly, the normal footage out of this thing is brilliant. You could just use that. Personal preference here, I use the D-Log, up to you. Color recovery, turn that on your screen, gives you the normal look on the screen. If you turn it off, you see it grays everything out a little bit. So turn that color recovery on and it'll all look normal through your viewfinder. Confirm on that. Because I'm in D-Log, I don't have access to my color tones there. Again, I'm not really worried about that. And stabilization, again, because I'm in D-Log, I don't need to worry about that because I've already set that to rock steady earlier on. So don't worry about that, all sorted. Image adjustment, again, personal preference. Your texture and noise reduction, I've set to -2, -2, because that seems to give to my eyes, or my old short-sighted contact lens wearing eyes, the best image I can get. So -2 for both of those. Click confirm, we are done. And that is now my main preset, the one that I will use for pretty much everything. That run and gun, just hit my go button and press record. Never have to worry about that ever again. Okay, so now we've got those settings dialed in, let's actually save it as a preset. So like I said, we never have to worry about it again. Real simple thing, swipe down from the top of the screen, press the little head and shoulders button, tap on there, hit that plus icon. That creates my scene. Just click confirm on that button. And there we go, preset saved. So earlier on I mentioned that D-Log M color profile, which is the one that I choose most of the time. Now this is a flat color profile that allows for greater flexibility over the final product. So once you've recorded it and you've imported it into your editing software. But to simplify color grading this footage, because you will need to if you use it, DJI, they have provided us with a free LUT. Yes, LUT, L-U-T. And in the context of video editing and color grading, LUT stands for Look Up Table. I'm going to have to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. A lookup table is a tool used to transform colors and tones in footage, essentially acting as a preset filter or color grade that can be applied to achieve a desired look, which is a long way round of saying the footage we've recorded on here we can make look better when we're in D-Log M, and we apply this free color graded thing over the top, a LUT, lookup table. What's that got to do with color? So we record the footage, we import the footage, we apply this color profile, this LUT, and hey presto, you are the next James Cameron or Michael Bay with your cinematic color graded, amazing looking cat video. Now shooting in D-Log M and then manipulating it to look how you want it to, and or applying a LUT is cool and all that, but it is adding an extra step and potentially complicating things. So shooting in normal mode or the normal color profile is absolutely fine. Like, I'm not joking. If you're posting on here, YouTube, or your social media platforms or somewhere like that, 99% of people, they're not even going to notice a difference. If you were broadcasting on some huge cinema screen, maybe you'd want to make things stand out a little bit more, but This is all about simple run and gun stuff. Let's remove a step, shoot in your normal color profile, see how that goes first of all. Now this is a fantastic little camera and it can do pretty much anything and everything we ask of it. But it does have some hidden features that you may not know about. If you're interested to know what those hidden features are, give this video a watch next and maybe it'll open things up even further for you. Now if you found this video useful or you just enjoyed hanging out for the chat, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos where we take tech and simplify it. Alright, as ever, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.